Office series is called The Paper. Let me play you a little thing because we had some of the stars of the show actually interact with the studio tour a little while ago.
Hi, studio tour. We're here on the lot where we filmed The Paper, which follows our characters' day-to-day lives as employees of a struggling newspaper, Toledo Truth-Telling.
That's right. Unlike many other TV shows, The Paper uses multiple cameras and a variety of shot types and movements to give our show a true documentary feel.
Because the camera is always around whenever we're on the set, it's important that we stay in character.
Hey, Oscar, what's your favorite part of working on the lot?
I wasn't expecting you to ask me that.
You know what? I love being around talented, wonderful, hilarious people. I also get to work with Chelsea Fry. How about you, Chelsea? What's your favorite?
Oh, I love waving to the trams.
Okay. You could probably stop waving now.
It's fine. Just try.
Yeah?
Just try. It's good.
Yes. I just watched another episode last night. It really is good, especially if you enjoy The Office. It is a spin-off of The Office. Obviously, that's Oscar Nunez, who played Oscar on the original American version of The Office. He's reprising his role. They film it all here at Universal. So the scenes that you see inside the Truth Teller offices, that's all here in our sound stages. I'll point them out when we get closer to them. So it's one of the many shows we do here. We also do The Voice. They're in season 29 of The Voice right now. So a lot of fun stuff for that. We bring in a live studio audience. We also do Reba McEntire's show, Happy's Place. When we get around her soundstage, I'll play you a little kind of behind the scenes that they put together for us. That's really fun. We also just wrapped the 4th season of Bel-Air. We got Hacks season 5 out there working. So much TV. It is a weekend, so typically on the weekends, we may see a little more prep than actual filming going on, because just like all of you, they have the day off. Our studio tour, however, rocks and rolls 7 days a week, and we have been for 61 years. You can see a little bit of our pictorial history here, starting with glamour trams in the 60s. We had those until mid-80s. 83 really is when we started adopting our 4-car blue trams that we use now. These blue trams have undergone quite a bit of evolution. We added all of the media, the screens, the camera, stuff I'm using here on the tour in the year 2000. That's our old King Kong attraction that we used to have. It's here from 1986 to 2008. We'll be experiencing a slightly more updated King Kong attraction with those 3D glasses. So please make sure you have a pair of 3D glasses.
The first time I ever went on the Universal lot, we did the tour.
I grew up in Los Angeles, and that was like the place to go and see Jaws.
I got my introduction to Universal Studios through the tours, then to being in the movies and seeing the trams drive by. It's very overwhelming.
One of the coolest things actually about shooting for Universal is sometimes you get to shoot on a lot and you look over and it's like there's Jaws, there's the flash flood, and all those trams are riding around. It's the coolest thing ever.
1979. Back then, the trail drivers were a little reckless and crazy. There was no restriction on cars going in. They used to drive all over and kind of deal with them kind of before.
I have so many amazing memories of the lot. We were shooting Back to the Future.
Being here was back in time, I'll tell you that.
When the tram would come through, the tourists would see Michael J. Fox, and they're taking their camera snaps in. So one day, Michael J. Fox had his own camera, and every time the tourists came through, snapping their pictures, he ran out and he started taking pictures of them.
Yes, that's Bob Gale, writer, creator of Back to the Future there. At the end of that clip, so a lot of fun faces, familiar faces there. Talking about our studio tour. Most recently, let's see, what have we appeared on screen in? Hacks. Hacks used us in the 4th season quite a bit. In fact, one of our tour guides, Steve, played a tour guide in an episode. We also appeared on screen in a Peacock limited series called Angeline at one point. So every now and then they do actually use our studio tour, which is always a lot of fun because we've been here for so long. We're kind of a Hollywood tradition. And you're looking out to the right at the San Fernando Valley. This is what I call the real working Hollywood if you're visiting and not from LA. The Hollywood sign is on the flip side of the hill there to the right side. That is Mount Hollywood and Mount Lee, kind of right next to each other. But this is where all the studios are, at least a lot of them. We have Disney and Warner Brothers next to us. You can kind of see the Warner Brothers stages there. They're across the street from our back gate. San Gabriel Mountain Range, that's the city of Burbank and Toluca Lake. We also have Warner Brothers Ranch, CBS Radford. There's a lot of production facilities out in this part of the LA County area. So much filming, so much production takes place here And you are at the biggest and busiest and oldest studio here in Southern California. We've been making films here since 1914. All right, we're leaving the station. Take those seats. Wave goodbye because we're getting out of here. Bye. Thank you. Back to the Future, the Sting, Blues Brothers, Frankenstein, Dracula, all sorts of franchises of Fast and Furious, Jurassic Park, all done right here at Universal. We'll talk about all that and more on the tour. Welcome aboard. I'm Heather, your guide. We got Michael at the wheel. We're going to take care of you. Just get back, relax, enjoy the ride. I got my co-host here as well. He's the host of The Tonight Show on NBC. This is Jimmy Fallon.
Welcome to the Universal Studio Tour. I'm Jimmy Fallon. I'll be making sure that you get through this experience in one piece. You've got the very best guide.
Heather.
And the greatest driver.
Michael.
They're the best. I love them. Even though
Heather.
it owes me $5. I know you guys are excited to get on the tour, but first, a few safety rules.
Yeah, let's cover some safety here as we get going. First, if you need guest assistance or have a medical emergency, or if you drop something of value off the side of the train or have any sound or video issues, you can reach up, grab the red E cord, runs along the center of the ceiling of the tram. I will be back to assist you as soon as it is safe to do so. Otherwise, during the entire tour, please stay seated, keeping arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times. Remember to use the red cord above your head if you need any assistance. This studio is private property, so at any time during the tour you drop your phone or you just can't wait to use the restroom, you can pull the cord, but then you gotta remain seated. Please no smoking of any kind during the tour. And be prepared, our tour today will feature loud noises, fire, and water effects, so you may get wet. And sudden tram movements, so remain seated and hold on for your safety and those around you. Please do not use selfie sticks while on board the tram. So we're moving down the hill into the studio. On the way there, we're obviously going through a lot of park stuff. So on the right side is the lower lot of our theme park. It includes Super Nintendo World, the Mummy, Jurassic World. This is actually the top of the drop here on that ride in this gray building. And then on the left is our new roller coaster, Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift, opening officially next year here at the park. They've started to test the ride vehicles, which has been a lot of fun to watch. So keep an eye on that today as you're wandering through our park. And then we got our movie poster timeline on the right side, giving you a little bit of our film history here. The highlight reel, I call it. Biggest, brightest, and Academy Award-winning Best Pictures like Oppenheimer are highlighted on the hill. And this is Fire Station 51. Good morning. Give them a wave. They keep us safe every day here on the lot. 51 is a LA County Fire Department firehouse right there. Keep in mind, we're in the middle of LA County. We're in University Cities. If you have 91608, our city. Got to start with founder Carl Laemmle. You can see him on your screens here. Mr. Laemmle started Universal Pictures in 1912. 2 years later, 1914, he makes the move out west here to Southern California. And then by 1915, he had the idea to open the gates to the public, allowing people to come in to watch his film silent movies for the cost of 25-cent admission. So in many ways, that is the earliest version of our studio tour. So you can see kind of footage of it there. We're getting a lot of silent westerns back there. We also had a zoo on the lot. We didn't worry about anyone being too noisy because no quiet on the set, no sound recording was happening. It hadn't been invented yet. Eventually it was, mid-20s or so. We had to close the lot to the public. We didn't reopen it until 1964. That's when we started this modern tram tour. Now we're moving into the front lot of the studios. You can see a lot of trucks and equipment to our left here. We not only have our main gates off Lankershim, we have our sound and editing buildings, commissary, screening rooms. We also have a lot of sound stages here. So sound stages where we do most, if not all, of our interior filming. Sound stages are heavily insulated. These ones next to us are about 10,000 square feet. Our biggest one, single stage here on the lot, is stage 12. It's about 30,000 square feet. All of these scenes shot inside our front lot, stage 12.
Shut up to my little son!
It's a great example of the different types water. We can build big jungles, caves, multi-story buildings, elevator shafts. We've done all of that inside these front lot stages. You see stage 14 there to your left. It's the second oldest stage still here on the lot. It was built in 1932. It's about 20,000 square feet, so it is a little bigger than the ones that were just next to us. Stage 14 is where we shot John Carpenter's The Thing. I love that movie. They also did a lot of the original Jurassic Park inside stage 14. The Jeep coming down off the tree, that whole sequence was actually done here in 14. One day we were on the tour and we were filming a movie here called Evan Almighty with Steve Carell. And we had to stop the tram because two elephants were crossing into 14 to film their scene. We had built the ark inside 14. So it is a cool stage. In the last decade or so, it's been open television series like Superstore.
Your face, please, birds.
Yeah, they built Cloud9 all through our front lot stages. And then after that, Bel Air moved in. Our Peacock series based on the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. They just wrapped their fourth and final season. Such a great cast. Jabari Banks, Ollie Charlton. You gotta catch it. It's going to start on Peacock here shortly. We do a lot of TV here. It's mostly what I'm going to talk about. TV production is at a big time high right now thanks to the streaming era. But we've been making TV here since the 50s. You can see a little bit of that TV history on your screens. Stages we're next to now, 18 and 19, is where we shoot The Paper. I showed you a bit of that earlier with Oscar Nunez and Chelsea Fry. Currently, Hacks Season 5 is inside these stages. This is also where we've been working on a new Jennifer Garner Peacock series called The 5-Star Weekend. Ted, one of our TV stars there to the left. Cheers, Ted. Ted Season 2. Cannot wait. That show is so fun. A prequel series to the movies, all set in the 90s in Boston. And guess what? It all films here at Universal. Created by Seth MacFarlane. Now, we work with a lot of big creators, producers, writers, production teams that have a bungalow here to our left side. Big names like Kevin Williamson, who does all the Scream movies for Dimension Films. They got Scream 7 coming out next year. I just saw the trailer. It looks great. He also did Vampire Diaries and Dawson's Creek on television at one point. So he's a big TV and film producer. We have Mark Platt Productions. You're going to see a Wicked Ball just outside the entrance to their office. And guess what? Wicked for good. Playing in theaters starting November 21st.
Goodbye, Dorothy. I know that it's just that one road the whole time.
I'm touching this one.
Shucks.
I scared you.
I'm a public figure now. People expect me to run. Be encouraging.
Yes, can't wait. So we're right now next to stage 25 and 26. You can see their signs outside. Currently home to season 2 of our NBC show St. Denis Medical. You can see the cast poster there. They just started airing season 2. It is such a funny show. You got to check it out. It all films here on the lot. They not only use our stages, they use a bit of our back lot as well, like this Metropolitan set. You'll catch a glimpse of it here as we head up the hill. The Metro sets can play any city in the world in any time period. Over the years, we've used that for several of our Purge movies, The Purge Anarchy, The Forever Purge, Fate of the Furious, for Fast and Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw, played a bit of London for motorcycle chasing. We'll revisit that in a moment. Right now, we got a date with Skull Island from the 2005 movie King Kong.
It's the original King Kong, the main King Kong. Saw that movie on TV when I was I like films that just take you away from your life and sweep you up to the edge. And Kong literally does that. I mean, you're on board the ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you encounter monsters and creatures from, prehistoric times. That kind of place. So I was thrilled when Universal invited me back to Australia. It was great. Right. And we had created this 3D immersive experience with glasses.
That's right. Have those 3D glasses ready. Stay seated for all of this. I'm going to get really bumpy and bouncy. Please hold on tight to all those sides. July of 2010. We called it the Summer of Kong. Peter Jackson, his team at Weta, who did the movie, they also made this for us. Really incredible feat of practical motion. You can see the hydraulic platforms there that move us around, and digital effect on the big screens around us. The screens are 40 feet tall and 180 feet long. 16 digital projectors are used, 8 on each side. It is just a wonderful addition to our tour. Truly putting in the middle of the scene there. All right, so we're swinging back past the metro sets here to your left side. So you can see these sets are pretty big. This area is 4 acres. It's the biggest single section that we have here on the lot. Something we're seeing right now, and we're going to see a lot of throughout the tour, where we saw some of the front lot, is base camp for production. So this is base camp for St. Denis Medical. St. Denis Medical operates in the sound stages right next to us, but this is also their base camp. So their wardrobe trailers right there, their hair and makeup trailers, and then all their actor changing rooms. And the metro sets are so big, you can be filming out in the street on the other side, and then you can have your whole base camp here. Let me play a little bit of the history of the metro sets on your screens. In one way or another, it's been around since the 40s. Things like To Kill a Mockingbird, The Sting, Blues Brothers have all shot on these sets. You could decorate it to be any time periods. We could change out light poles, signage. We could put different types of cars on the streets. We call those picture cars. And you can hold it on camera. For Ted, we put in a whole bunch of 80s and 90s vehicles. You actually see dirt on the ground over there if you kind of look to your left. So if we have a production that lays dirt on the ground, it means it's sometime before we had paved roads. So we could go back to the 1800s. We did that for a movie called The Prestige with Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale. Bram Stoker's Dracula filmed here in our metropolitan set as well. So very busy and popular area for filming. We also have our beautiful monster mural to the right, painted for us by Tristan Eaton a few years ago, a renowned graffiti artist. Such a cool homage to our monsters like Frankenstein, the Bride, the Wolfman, and Dracula there. Now we also do the voice here. I mentioned it earlier. Filmed here at stage 30 and 31. You can see the red V on the side of the stage. So we are currently in season 29. A lot of fun coaches back like Snoop Dogg, Michael Bublé, Reba McEntire. Reba does her show, Happy's Place, here in stage 33. You can see their mural. I'm going to let Reba talk to you a little bit about how they do the show.
Hey there, I'm Reba McEntire, local to Happy's Place. We shoot our hotel comedy right here in Universal Park. Now, unlike most TV shows, we are a multi-camera sitcom, meaning several cameras capture every scene from a different angle on the scene. Each episode takes about a week to make, from the first read-through of the script to rehearsals to taking in front of a live studio audience. And with me, every step is a blast. Enjoy the ride, and we'll see you at Happy's Place. Folks starting to sweat by the way. Just think about it. The men are the ones that's supposed to ask the women out. That hasn't been true for 30 years. I haven't dated in 30 years.
Happy's Place, Friday on NBC and Peacock.
Yes, season 2 just started on NBC, so check it out. It is so much fun, and yeah, we bring in a big live studio audience for the show. So if you want, you can get tickets for it on oneiota.com. That's the website that handles our live tape shows. That is also where you can get tickets to be part of the audience for The Voice that films right next door. We are headed to kind of the back part of our studio where we got sound stages, satellite dishes, more modern things now, but this used to be home to our biggest location. It was a European village built in the 20s. It was almost 20 acres. That's massive. So it by far was the biggest location we had on the lot, used for every single one of our monster movies. Frankenstein and Dracula came out in 31 for us. These two movies launched us as a major player in the industry. They helped spawn a lot of sequels like Bride of Frankenstein, Dracula's Daughter. A lot of great films were done here over the decades. Now we still have a little bit of our European village left. This is called Little Europe. Little Europe played Genovia in Disney's Princess Diaries 2, or Royal Engagement. It was also seen in their Pirates of the Caribbean movies with Johnny Depp as Port Royal. But for 4 years, this was all the afterlife in our show, The Good Place.
You, Eleanor Shellstrop, are dead.
Cool.
This location, afterlife, I've never ever seen this.
I'm not supposed to be here. Can't risk going to a bad place.
Maybe it's not all like that. But I'm gonna help you. What is a bad place?
was so awesome. We loved having it here. All 4 seasons of The Good Place filmed here, most of the episodes right here in Florida. And honestly, over the years, a lot of television episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, they used this as 1800s Ireland, it was 1500s Spain, in an episode of HBO's True Blood with Fiona Shaw. It was also seen in things like Gilmore Girls as a modern-day Paris. It was used as Paris in a Sabrina Carpenter commercial she did for the Olympics a little bit ago, where she's sitting in a little Parisian cafe. That was all over Europe. It was used for a Corona commercial with Pedro Pascal, where he's going through a little beachside town. That was all over Europe. So it's a very fun, a little more exotic area on the lot, but to be honest, it wouldn't be here if we hadn't made all those monster movies.
If you ever fully think of monsters,
Dracula, Frankenstein,
Wolfman, Bride of Frankenstein, The Mummy, The Hunchback of Notre Dame,
The Invisible Man, Phantom of the Opera.
classic movies are just brilliant.
That Frankenstein image, Flatman, it's one of the great icons of the world. That to me was like the essence of the universal horror film. That was just
Mesmerized by
Boris Karloff, Lon Chaney.
I remember the original Universal Studios Mummy movie, really scary.
They still leaning on their ground.
Yeah, we're moving back inside though, this time stage 50, so remain seated and hold on. We are going to see some action in here. Please hold on tight to all those cycles. Take a look around. We've got a subway station set around here. We're actually in the bottom level of what is a 2-level sound stage. So that is a city street with picture cars and office buildings. We're going to do a little camera test for you while we're in here. So once again, remain seated and hold on. Get out of there. And cut. Back to one. Reset. That's our earthquake stage. A little earthquake scene for you. That's a lot of fun. All mechanical effects. That has been on the tour for a little over 35 years, since 1989. All mechanical effects that reset themselves in 15 seconds. And it's ready to go. Gotta love it. Little demonstration of how we would make disaster scenes happen before we ever had digital effects to play with, right? I'll let you know we're a little bit past the halfway point on the tour. Just want to remind everyone to stay seated during the entire tour. This studio is private property. You can drop your phone or just can't wait to use the restroom. Hold the board. I'll be back to assist you, but please remain seated on the tram, especially as we head right down by the water in a small town called Amity Island. You might remember Jaws. Okay. Looking pretty calm and quiet this morning. Wait a second. Wait, uh-oh. Do you see him out there? We got another one. Watch out. Okay, our diver is supposedly out there in the water right now. There he is. That's George. George is one of our best divers. I'm sure he knows what to do. Oh no. Okay. 50 years this year. It came out June in 1975. This movie changed the game. Every movie that came after Jaws really was influenced by that film. It is just one of the more modern masterpieces in cinema. It changed the game, like I said. It broke every record. It made Steven Spielberg a household name. Sold out theaters for months and months and months and months after its release. We put it on the tour in 1976. He's a little over 49 years old now. Right now, however, we're turning into a lovely little corner of the lot called Old Mexico. Old Mexico is featured in Orion's Three Amigos with Steve Martin, Chevy Chase, Martin Short. Also featured in Paramount's Nacho Libre with Jack Black. The put scenes for both those were actually shot out here. Wait a second, is that lightning? Some thunder. Okay, we got a little storm moving in. Seems odd because it's like blue skies and sunshine, but we might have some rain. It's a very concentrated storm system. Concentrated right where our sprinklers are. And look, you can see one on the bridge in the shadow there. Obviously, we don't want that on film. So, here's the thing, this is still how it's done. I've been in rain scenes. You often have sprinklers rigged above the camera. Sometimes you have something called a rain tower if you need a lot more rain and that spins around, shoot water outward. But we try and just have it where the shot is, not where the crew and the camera equipment are. Uh-oh, we got our flash flood coming in. Watch out, here it comes. Goes back to 1968. Here it is on camera, The Big Fat Liar. Lady Gaga also stood in that flag, her music video Judas, that filmed all over this corner of the lot. Janet Jackson's Escapade music video is done here as well. This was used as the town of Pariah in the first season of HBO's Westworld. It was also seen in the Sony Pictures movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood with Quentin Tarantino directing. Leo DiCaprio starred as Rick Dalton. And remember, he gets cast in a Western TV show called Lancer, and that was all done right here. Makes a lot of sense. We were making a lot of TV and movie Westerns here in the 50s and 60s. Let's see footage of that here.
Mine hit the ground first. Mine was taller.
Yeah, little Cowboy Logic there with Kirk Douglas and John Wayne. So this area used to be quite a bit bigger back when we were doing a little more Western projects. We had 6 different roads that kind of met in the middle, like a wagon wheel. So I would still call this area 6 Points. Now it's just this one main street. Over the years, used for things like Winchester 73, the Virginia Wagon Train. A little more recently, A24's movie Maxine with Mia Goth and Kevin Bacon filmed out here. They did a lot of fun scenes with the two of them running around the Salt Lake studio back in the 1980s. Now we're going to take a turn onto Steven Spielberg Drive. Now Steven Spielberg has worked here with us since the late 60s. He's worked in every part of our lot. He actually filmed 2 different projects here in the 6 Points area. One was Amistad, before that the original Color Purple film with Whoopi Goldberg and Oprah Winfrey. But we're going to head past Amity Island again, so I'm going to let him talk to you a little bit about how he helped us build the Jaws attraction.
The Jaws ride was almost the inevitable result of the size of the box office when Jaws first opened in June of 1975. And that was really the first time I ever got involved in the creation of a ride. It was a great honor to be invited into a creative circle of tremendous designers at Universal who were trying to figure out how to replicate what the movie had done to audiences in a real way by building a physical shark that would come out of the water and terrify tourists as they were sitting in the traffic. And the most amazing thing about the Jaws ride is it is exactly as it was from the time it was first placed on Universal lot. There have been tweaks, of course, over the years, but it is essentially what
and myself all envisioned and created. I'm done bashing the shark. Thank you, Jaws, for everything you've done for me. But I will say, consistently, the shark did work much better on the tour than it did in the Atlantic Ocean. Thank you, Stephanie.
I'm in the Atlanta Amity right next to Miss Mona's Chicken Ranch here on the right from the best little whorehouse in Texas with Dolly Parton and Burt Reynolds. It was also seen as Rob Zombie's House of a Thousand Corpses many, many years ago as well. That movie turned 22 years old this year. This is our neighborhood area, so we have a lot of little bits of suburbia out here, and honestly a lot of productions need that at some point, so it is another very popular area for filming, especially the street that we're moving into now. This is Colonial Street, built in the 80s, used for movies like The Burbs with Tom Hanks and Carrie Fisher, but in the early 2000s, this all turned into Wisteria Lane for ABC's Desperate Housewives.
If there is one thing everyone in Somalia can appreciate, it's a good neighbor.
Desperate Housewives, they were here for about 8 years, all 8 of their seasons filmed here. They did a lot of changes to this neighborhood. This neighborhood used to have a little small town here at the end, this turnaround area. It was used for the movie Casper with Christina Ricci in the 90s, and also the Sixth Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. He used this as a small town set. Buffy the Vampire Slayer also used it as a bit of Sunnydale in several different episodes. But when Desperate Housewives moved in, they kind of made it more of a neighborhood with a little park area here. The houses are pretty easy to take out if you need to. They're not very old. The house there across the way, you open the front door, you hit the back wall. It's a facade or a false front. So it's just a front wall and 2 side walls. And several of the houses here are that. Some of them have maybe 1 or 2 rooms set up inside, but primarily we do exterior filming here. And then we'll move inside for the interiors of the sound stages. A good example is this. This is Ted. Ted uses the White House here on your left, painted blue for the productions. This is what it looks like. And now we're in a soundstage. So when they are in their room, that's moved into the front lot inside a soundstage. But all the exterior shots, of course, are done out here on Colonial Street. We also just wrapped filming on a new TV show we're working on called The Burbs with Keke Palmer, Mark Roach, and Paula Pell. It'll be a TV version of The Burbs, or a TV adaptation, I should say, of the movie The Burbs that filmed here back in the 80s, again with Tom Hanks and Carrie Fisher, almost 40 years ago. See a little bit of the history of Colonial Street here on your screen. Series used in an episode of the Fox series 911. They had to do a car crash scene, and it was down here. So you get a lot of emergency vehicles out, your crashed car, you probably have a couple versions of it, so it can be a complex scene to shoot. That one is tough if you're out in the real city doing that, a little easier to do here on the lot. When we use picture cars, means that we are shooting vehicles on camera. Picture cars help us out in the action sequences, but they also tell a lot of the story. In fact, we have a bit of a picture car row right in the corner here to our left side. One of our original glamour trends there. I think it's back in the 60s, and then picture cars from Jurassic World, the Flintstones, Fast and Furious, and Transformers on display. Picture cars help us define time period, oftentimes location, character. They can tell you a lot about the character as well. Become a major part of your story. Now on the right side, you're seeing a couple of things. It is the remnants of Halloween Horror Nights. We are starting obviously to get transitioned out of Halloween into our holiday season. This was our Terror Tram attraction, built right in front of the Bates Motel from Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. In fact, you can see the Hollywood sign still a bit bloody. We always get it into the spirit of the season. We are the home to horror that included 1960s Psycho. This movie shot almost entirely here at Universal. In fact, the original Psycho house is up the hill here to our left side, built for the film. This movie starred Anthony Perkins, Janet Leigh, and Vera Miles. You can see her on the screen. And this house was constructed for every exterior shot of the house in the film. The Psycho house, we do have quite the location. This practical set was built for the Paramount movie War of the Worlds. It starred Tom Cruise, Dakota Fanning, and Justin Chapman, directed by Steven Spielberg. Production designer for this was Rick Carter.
It's just something you don't see.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Keep pressing me. Close your eyes, okay? Now close. Robbie, get in. Get in.
Look at the scene there. It took months to bring the plane in piece by piece on flatbed trucks. It was trucked in from the desert. They filmed here for a few weeks and then gave it to us for the tour. We use it for Halloween. We also allow filming. Ariana Grande did a short film here called Brighter Days Ahead. She filmed a little bit of that on the plane crash set. I'll let you know we're less than 10 minutes away from the end of the tour, returning you to the theme park shortly. Once again, if you have an emergency, pull the cord. I'll be back to assist you, but please remain seated on the tram. One last set visit for you. This is Jupiter's Claim from the Jordan Peele film Notebook.
Movie magic only happens when a team of collaborators, often in the hundreds, work together to take an impossible picture and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Claim, a nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky and Julie Potter. Over there, look into the Winking Lip. Have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie T-shirt. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? But a little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso Experience. It's to showcase an unbelievable live show. It's not looking so live. Anyway, behind this Hollywood fantasy, old Rush Frontier lies a sinister secret. Welcome to the world of the old.
Location up in Agua Dulce by Santa Clarita, and then they reassembled the set here after the filming. As we start to wrap things up, we are driving next to Falls Lake. This is a location here on your right. Obviously, we got a lot of trucks and trailers parked out here right now, but we can use it as a water location. We have a big blue screen out there. You can probably see that in front of you. That's the backdrop to Falls Lake, and then in front of it is a big cement pool. As you can see, it's pretty large. The cement pool can be filled with water. Holds about 2.7 million gallons of water. It takes us 3 days to fill it, but it's pretty effective on camera. You can see some of its history here on your screens. Ultimately, everything in the background is digitally put in post-production, so you build your city digitally, or cinematic scenes for films have been done out in Falls Lake. Even music videos like TLC's Waterfalls and Beyonce's Formation have shot out in our Falls Lake location. And that's the idea. Whether you're doing something small or big, we got everything here at Universal that you would ever need to use to tell your story on screen. That was the idea that Carl Laemmle started with over 100 years ago when he built his movie city out of what was basically ranch land when he got here in the early 1900s. Built it from the ground up. We also have incredibly talented professionals that work in areas like our lighting and print department, our property warehouse, our costume department, our editing and sound departments, post-production facilities, our mill that builds, decorates, and designs our sets. It's just an incredibly collaborative art form and something we love to celebrate every single day on our studio tour. We have been doing this tour now for 6 decades. We love it. Giving you a little taste of a behind-the-scenes look at Hollywood. We started with 2 glamour trams. We've grown to multiple theme parks around the world. We entertain millions of people every year. So thank you for joining us on our Hollywood tradition here at the studio tour. We're getting you back to the theme park right now. We're open until 8 o'clock tonight. Please use that app, the Universal Studios Hollywood app, to navigate the rest of your day, giving you show times for Waterworld, ride wait times, all your park information. Thank you to annual pass members. Always good to have you with us. Want to turn to get into an annual pass? Do that at the box office in the park. UPHE.com is the website to go to purchase any Universal or NBC titles I've been showing you on your screens. And as we roll into the end, please make sure you've got everything. You want to leave anything on board the tram. 3D glasses will go into the blue bins. They're to your left side. You're in the exit area. Just make sure to drop those in there on your way out. Please wait for them to open the gates to stand up and then watch your step as you exit the tram. We're going to be exiting towards the back of the tram this morning. On behalf of Michael, myself, Heather, and all of us here at the tour, thank you for joining us. Have fun today here at Universal Studios Hollywood. Bye, everyone. Thank you.